renters, and they all afforded their rent on EBT or on another program. Not EBT, because EBT is something different, but on a different program, on a program that allows for housing, right?
Okay. Are you talking about like Section 8?
Yes, whatever everyone does housing. I never had to apply for that one.
Okay.
Okay. Now those people, right? They get all their money from that. But these are the same people, if you go outside right now, you found the renters that were also paying with Section 8 for their rent or for whatever they're paying for their home, right? These are the same people who own multiple cars. They are working. They're not jobless. They're not job hunting. They are working. Either they're working and they have a really good job, or they're not working at all and they're not seeking one in the slightest. And the problem with that is that they are being able to get money to live in a home they can either afford or are choosing not to work hard to afford. And you can go out, I bet you if you went to your neighbors and you found out which ones you were renting, you can look at them and they have cars, they have X things that are worth X amount of value. That is way more than if they claimed those things, and if the system wasn't broken, they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get the program to allow them to afford to live there. That's my problem with welfare, is that no one on welfare has to be held accountable. You either get fucked over, or you just kind of get lucky. They hand you a large amount of money, and you get to live your life, and you can use it all you want if you're
Everyone
really
where I live owns their own house. 100% of people don't have a mortgage here. How do you explain that, kid? Suck my anecdotal evidence dick.
Some of these people, you have some pretty interesting people that pay you money, including myself. But
so I'm trying to look up the income limits for my county, my specific county. Apparently, the only way you can qualify is if you make if you've got a family of 4.
Yeah, it's like
you make $36,400. You don't make less than that in order to be on the very low.
I actually think it's a little bit less than in California, but yeah.
So you're saying that these people are making, they're making 100,000, but they're just paying their income, or?
I don't want this to sound like I'm talking about race here or anything.
Okay, no, that's okay. Let's go ahead. I live next to a lot of Mexicans, so I know what it's like.
Well, yeah, okay. But I actually live in California. I live next to a really high population of people who come from the Middle East, and one thing that the people from the Middle East can do, and I know this from experience, I have friends, right, more anecdotal evidence, sure, but that they're people who they don't have a wait list for what the fuck's it called? An alcohol license, right? So they can sell alcohol almost immediately when they come here. And so they make a ton of money, right? Because alcohol is worth a whole lot. So they open up liquor stores. They make a lot of money from that. I know that because I live around them, and I know people who do that. And they make a lot of money. But I talk to these same people. They rent their home, and they pay for that with welfare. I'm not arguing about these people are just came from the Middle East. That's not my point. These people are either American citizens or what have you. But my point is that they clearly make a large chunk of money, way more than what will qualify. I don't really know, because I guess I'm one of the dumb ones or non-lucky ones, but I really don't know how to abuse a system like they do. But they are able to qualify for welfare, owning a liquor store, signing leases, rent agreements with these places to sell liquor, to make lots of money. And so I don't know if you experienced that. Mexicans that are opening up places around you, and you can see that they own businesses that are making them a relatively large amount, especially for someone who owns their own business, and then still on welfare, still being able to pay for living.
How do you know that they make a lot of money of those stores? Firstly,
they own nice cars, nice things in their homes that they're renting.
Okay.
Again, you're right. You're gonna tell me all this is anecdotal, right? And I understand.
It also doesn't sound like a problem with welfare. This sounds like a problem with tax evasion. Then.
No, it is. Well, those things go slightly hand in hand. But the problem with welfare, and I know this is because when you fill it out, I don't remember exactly which form, but when you fill it out, you can just choose numbers. And most of the time,
For what form?
on the one where you have to fill out what bracket you're in. Oh fuck, I don't remember. I don't have
Talking
it.
about a 1040, your standard filing?
No, it's okay. So you have the bullshit, the 1040, right? But then when you go to the welfare thing, you have like a thing where you say this is my 1040, and then they like look at it and they're like okay, and then like this is how much money we're gonna give you. It's kind of like when you filled the free financial student aid bullshit, the FAFSA.
FAFSA?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. When you fill that out, you have to like you put like your 1040.
You just write in whatever number you want. You don't think they check that at all against
No,
any
they do check it, but the problem is that that they don't. I'm sorry, they don't check it. That's the problem, because I know they don't, because I've never once heard of someone on welfare who has wrote something down incorrectly and they come back at them. So even if they do look at it, or some computer looks at it and says like, oh, this person's not making this amount of money, you should probably do something. That's the problem. They don't enforce it in the slightest.
Okay, sick. So I'm gonna go down to the welfare office, and then I'm gonna tell them that I make $15,000 a year, and then I'm gonna get a ton of welfare. You're saying that should work 100%, right?
The dankest dungeon.
I mean, I could never do that.
Why?
But because I'm like fucking retarded. But the people that do it know how to do it.
Wait, why can't you do it? I thought you said it was...
It's not, I mean, I didn't do it, that's what I'm saying. I actually genuinely do not know how to do it. I just know it's just easy. It's more complicated than I made it out to be, but it's definitely fucking, like, it's really fucking easy, because a lot of people...
Alright. Well, I mean, I think you've swayed my opinion a lot, to be fair, because you said that you saw a couple guys do this, so it must be a really and you don't know the specifics, or you don't know their income, or you don't know the value of their assets, you don't know their situation. But I mean, it sounds like, no, I mean, I agree, like, it sounds like...
I'm gonna give you a real talk challenge. I'm gonna give you a real talk. I want this to happen on stream. I will give you money for the gas. I will find it in my heart to give you $20 to drive over to the fair office near your house, okay? Go on Google Maps, find the nearest one, alright? And then what I want you to do is I want you to sit out there, right? And I want you to watch all the BMWs, all the Cadillacs, all the dank ass shit that rolls up in there. And I want you to watch all the fucking minority fucks that get out of the cars with their Prada bags and like 3 kids and sit there and then watch them walk out with welfare checks. That's what I want you to do. That's what I legit want you to do. If you don't genuinely believe me, or you think that I'm just like totally bullshitting, or you think it's all anecdotal, you can go watch it for yourself. Any welfare office, find the nearest one in your house. I'll fucking go find $20 to put on my PayPal. Just fucking give me $20 to fucking go pay for gas. To go just sit there, put it on stream, make the dank ass stream money while you sit there and watch the people.
Gotcha. Alright, I'll think about doing this someday, okay?
No, you have to do it. You have to entertain me, because I donated $5 to you. That means you are
Bar, you're on
morally
welfare.
obligated
Bar,
to do what I say.
bar.
You're morally obligated to do what I say.
Okay, I'm gonna try to wake up early tomorrow.
Alright. Yeah, you gotta wake up bright and early, because that's when all these fucks do it. Bright and fucking early. And then stream it. I'll wake up early too. Oh wait, you're way ahead of me here, because it's only 4 o'clock for me, and it's what, like 6 for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whenever that shit opens near you, once you go over there, put on the car streams, and I promise I'll watch.
Truly, this is.
And I will eat my words when they are not doing that.
I'm not paying this guy's welfare to harass minorities at the welfare office. What the fuck?
Can I ask you a real talk question, though? Can I ask you a real talk question?
Yeah, sure thing.
Truly,
why is Bar banned from chat, yo? That's what I've always wanted to know.
Should I go and get welfare so I can donate,
But it's
Danky?
the best emote.
I mean, I disagree, but...
What's your favorite emote? On a scale of 1 to 300.
I don't know, I really like Abathur, just for the,
Alright.
just because of the history.
Yeah. The history. What's the history? Can you explain it to me?
That's because it's Abather.
My family owns a pharmaceutical company and I'm getting welfare check. You white kids are retarded. Free Mighty Peppy.
By the way, I'm Mexican. I can say the word minority, and that gives me automatic rights. But be honest with me. You've never considered going on welfare. You've never.
What? How old are you?
21.
Okay. I hate to bring this up because I feel like I bring this up a lot. Have you ever taken a psych class?
This is
Yes.
the dankest dungeon.
Okay. Are you aware that people have a lot of cognitive biases?
Oh no, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to go to like a welfare parking lot and you weren't actually writing down the facts and figures, if you saw one like BMW in that parking lot or two BMWs in that parking lot over a 2-day period, you would be much more likely to remember that than the dozens or hundreds or thousands of other lower income cars that would be more associated with poor people driving too, right? You realize that the fact that you're thinking right now of these guys that might be tax evading selling alcohol, that you probably know dozens of other people coming from the Middle East that don't have the same level of whatever welfare shit that you're thinking of, right? The problem with going by anecdotal evidence is that people's minds and memories are very faulty when it comes to remembering specific things that support the specific narratives they believe. That's why things like numbers are so important when you get into arguments like this, because if you don't have the numbers backing you up, all you have is a gut feeling. And the way that your mind works is you're more likely to notice things that support the feeling that you already have than to notice things that don't support the feeling that you already have. That's why like cognitive biases make it so that anecdotal evidence is so horrendously unreliable when it comes to things like these.
But I didn't have these notions when I first went to do this. I didn't go to the welfare office expecting to see these things, right?
Okay.
Do you honestly believe I went there and was like, man, I'm gonna see all these BMWs?
And not to like do whatever, but maybe you went to that office and you were legitimately very fucking poor, and then you saw a couple people in a day drive up in like really expensive cars, and then you thought like, oh my god, like why the fuck are these people at the welfare office driving this expensive shit? This is fucking ridiculous. And then every single time you saw a car that looked like that afterwards, you were like, fuck, look at all these rich people, but you weren't thinking of the dozens and dozens and dozens of poor cars you saw in the meantime, because your cognitive biases there play against you. You understand?
No, I understand that, and I understand I'm probably swayed in some way, and that's why I was like, that's why I probably took your tweet wrong in the first place, was that I get upset when people who write this is like something that's probably like totally, what's the thing, cognitive dissonance, is like when you
cognitive
just like
bias.
No, it's when you ignore the truth. It's like that's dissonance, right? It's when you ignore the truth.
Well, cognitive dissonance is when you have two contradictory ideas and you have them delivered at the same time, and it makes you uncomfortable.
Okay, maybe not then. But anyways, like, no, I get that, like, that it's
also
personally, like, affected by this, and so
all those BMWs you saw driving through, what if somebody was very wealthy, had a BMW because they worked at a job, and then what if they lost their job? And then now they actually legitimately need welfare, but they still have that expensive car.
They're gonna... No, that's a bit of a stretch. They go from like $100,000 job or $200,000 job to
$100,000 job to own a nice car.
Like a nice BMW, like a nice shit tier one. Yeah, maybe $50,000 will cut it, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But no, I don't think they went from like $200,000 to zero in a day, like where you could afford to be, or you could like actually be on welfare.
I mean, I'm not even an extreme example, and I went from a $22 an hour job to earning maybe $2,000 $2,000 a month at my carpet cleaning job, working like twice as many hours. I mean, I'm sure there are more ridiculous examples than mine.
Right. I mean, I guess.
I mean, people have been laid off from jobs before, believe it or not. Like, it does happen.
I genuinely want to apologize, though, for my outlandish chat comments earlier. I mistook your tweet, and that's something coming from a very, very sincere part of me.
Okay. All right. Well,
I want you to know that I still support you, Destiny. You're still my favorite streamer, and I'll always watch you.
Okay. Like when bubbles pop too, like I'm sure there's a lot of people in real estate that lost really good paying jobs There's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
a lot of even people in Wall Street that lost really good paying jobs. When the dot-com bubble burst, I bet there's a lot of people there that lost a lot of tech-related jobs.
Truly, this is
Oh yeah. There's people that fucking killed themselves on the stock market. That
If you're
because the stock
watching
market
this on
crashed. I mean, that's
YouTube-
not. I'm not saying that didn't happen.
Well, you kind of just did say that didn't happen.
Well,
Your exact words were...
Do you think that everyone on the stock market who lost money went to a welfare office the next day when they could have liquidated their BMW and say, hey, I can still
Liquidating your primary means of transportation is not really realistic. I mean, like...
You think all those people? Okay, wait, hold up, because you can ride the fucking bus like I did, or
Depends on where you live. If I worked in Omaha, there's no fucking public transport here. You think there's a bus reliably that runs in Omaha that's gonna get me to work?
there's no buses in Omaha.
There are buses, but it's gonna be like an extra hour of travel time every day to get to my job.
Damn, dude, you should get up fucking early in the morning and see what it's like.
What do you mean?
You think you have it the worst?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't think I have it the worst. It's just
Wait, hold on.
No, I don't think I have it the worst, but I've had it worse than some. I understand my position now, and I understand that I came from a really bad situation, and I've gotten fucked over by a lot of different things, and I understand that when I woke up in the crack of dawn because I had to get to work in the morning, like...
Okay, but what I'm saying is that if you already owned a car, then you're probably not going to be like, well, this car is really expensive. Like, I'm just going to liquidate this real fast.
And buy a cheaper ass car, and
I mean, yeah, you could, but that's not always that's like not ideal, right? That you have a car, you know the history of it and everything. It might be more expensive car, but you're just going to say fuck it, sell it, and then buy a used car when you already have one that works well. Like, not everybody would immediately. I don't even know if that's actually like a rational thing to do. I mean, I guess if you were like super really ultra fucked, but I mean,
most of those people in the stock market were, but I think we're just like arguing semantics right now.
We're not arguing semantics. You said that literally nobody. Originally, you said literally nobody went from having a huge paying job to earning nothing.
Right, that might have been like
a bad exaggeration, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but no. I'm just saying that I took your tweet a little too heart, and that but I still do genuinely believe, from deep down, that welfare is a broken system.
Okay.
I
mean, I'm never gonna change your mind. It's obvious, right? Because if you're arguing...
Hold on. Why do you think it's not, though? I think that was my original question. Why do you...
Because I've never been presented with facts or figures that make it look like there's this huge, massive, widespread problem. Everything that I've seen has always made it feel like, yeah, there's definitely some waste and abuse that goes on, but it's not like this massive, enormous...
So if you could wake up and fix tax fraud and welfare fraud, you would or would not?
Yeah, obviously, of course. Much the same way that I switched out most of the light bulbs in my house for those energy efficient ones, but it didn't mean that I expected to double my savings every single month from doing it. It's just a little itty bitty...
No, I think fixing tax fraud and welfare fraud, did your stream just crap out? No, never mind. No, I think those are on a different scale than just nickels and dimes.
But you think that, but you don't really know, because you don't have any numbers.
You're right, you got me. I probably should have come up with some numbers, but again, it's something I feel kind of strongly about.
But do you understand that you are literally everything that's wrong with the average voter in the United States? You just literally, you just admitted that you have a very strong opinion on something that you have no numbers to back up.
The intrinsic part of voting, though?
Well, yes, it is. Like, you people... No, but like, I'm trying to make you understand that you are the cancer that kills democracy. You are the literal embodiment of the low information, ignorant voter that influences public policy. No, I'm serious. I'm just saying that you just told me.
Hold the fuck up, because if everyone in this world could look at facts and look at like very real numbers, right? Which I don't have, right, about welfare, right? I can't tell you, holy shit, we're losing $10 gazillion a fucking year on welfare. I can't tell you that. You're right. You got me. But I'm not the very intrinsic part about voting is that you have an opinion, right? And you have like this person you like because they have values you value. You want to go out and you want to say, all right, I agree with this person. That's democracy, because not everyone is going to have the same opinion as you.
I totally agree, and that's why you get situations where you have people like, that's why you get, well listen, because that's why you have situations where you get people like Donald Trump on stage saying something like, I'm gonna cut all of the I'm gonna make better deals in Medicare, and I'm gonna save us $1 trillion in our budget. And then the debate moderator was like, okay, well, Medicare only spends like $400 million a year or whatever on drugs. Like, that's all of their spending, period. So you're not even at like a fraction of the money you can say. And then he's like, oh, no, well, I'm gonna cut some departments like the EPA. And it's like, okay, the EPA's annual budget is $8 billion. No, so what I'm trying to make you understand is, when you vote off of emotion and feeling, you're just contributing to the problem, because you have no idea if any of these things will fix any of the problems.
Okay, so what you just explained is in what way different than not having a democracy? Because if every voter was informed and every voter knew exact numbers and every voter could get along and not have a fucking opinion, everyone was fucking robots, and we were all like one sentient being, then that would fix all problems. You fucking got me. But that's not the point with democracy. We all have different opinions, so you pick one and you're like, I agree with that one, so I vote for that candidate. Right? Donald Trump it makes really hyperflacious statements. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna fucking vote because these fuck candidates are retarded, but I don't agree with a lot of the opinions they say, but I understand. If you presented me with facts, if you went on the internet right now and you told me, all right, welfare is not a broken system, pure in numbers, I would say, you're right, you got me. I believe you, you're right.
But we're already past that. If you would have went to the polls without ever talking to me, telling your voter, you already told me that you have a strong opinion on something that you don't have any information about.
I have the information that I have gathered myself. You're right. I didn't go out and search. I didn't poll every single welfare person in the entire United States saying...
Which means that... So do you understand that your opinion is worthless?
As is every voter's?
Without facts and numbers to back it up, yes.
It would all be the same agreeing body because no one could argue anything if we
That's why we pay these organizations like Pew and Gallup to do these large-scale studies and polling and the gathering the data in order to make...
Right, like if you told me like what you just said about Donald Trump, what was it, whatever we're losing money on, what is it, what was it?
Donald Trump on negotiating lower payments for drugs or whatever from Medicare or whatever.
Okay, you gave me numbers. You said Medicare is losing X amount of dollars or Medicare is fixing X amount of problems, right? I can't argue with that because you gave me a fact that you polled, right? I can't form an opinion on that. However, you have not shown me numbers. No one has shown me numbers. I can't find any numbers that are very concrete, and I can tell you that from someone who has been on welfare, someone whose mother has been on welfare, someone who has been around other people who have been on welfare, and that is my voter-like opinion I have come up with as myself with numbers that I have gathered through my own belief and through what I've seen, then that is how I make my decision as a voter. I'm not saying that I have all the numbers. If I had all the numbers, every single fucking voter has the numbers, and no one could argue. And then we would just vote for whatever candidate like said the numbers were correct. And then that wouldn't be democracy at all. I don't understand where you're coming up with I'm the cancer fucking...
Okay, I'm gonna be very arrogant here. Here's the difference between you and me, okay? Usually on stream, if I have an opinion about something, and I can't, and I don't have like a lot of information about it, usually...
Don't generalize me, don't generalize me.
I'm not generalizing you. I'm not generalizing you at all. I'm using the exact words that you said, okay? I would say on stream, and you can go back and find any VOD, like I would say on stream, I would say something like, I don't really know much about this, but I kind of have this feeling about this. But I don't really know much about it, but I kind of have this feeling. I have never in my life on stream gone on record and like, I have a really strong opinion about this thing, but I just don't have the numbers to back it up. Because to do so would be dangerous. It's like embracing and wearing your ignorance on your sleeve is like a badge of honor. Like, I don't have a lot of information about this, but I have a strong opinion on it. Like, why would you ever say that?
No, Destiny. All right. I have a lot of personal information, right? So
it's worthless.
No, I really don't believe that because if you can make a very easy, concise argument that poll information is worthless because you can't validate the poll because you can't go back to every single person and say, did you answer this poll correctly? That's not really the point. What I'm saying is if you actually presented me real numbers and said it's not broken, then I would agree with you, it's not broken. In the same way, and not in the same way that someone else who was presented numbers or who had a strong opinion, and no matter what universe, no matter any fucking thing changed, you would still have that same opinion. That's not. I'm not. That's not. It's not me. You got me. But no, it's. I'm not saying that. It just generally feels like you're saying that all voters who have an opinion are wrong, and that in no way are their personal experiences make of the fact.
A lot of people are. Do you think that ISIS is one of the biggest threats to the United States right now?
No.
Okay, a lot of people believe that.
Right.
Even though we lose like 15 times as many people every year to gun violence in the United States as we lost on 9/11, there are still a lot of people that think that ISIS presents a major threat. Even though ISIS is losing on every single conceivable front, financially, in terms of area that they own, in terms of size of the army, everything. ISIS is losing on every single conceivable front in every single part of the world, except for maybe Libya. And all of these places, ISIS is getting fucked. However, there is still an overwhelming number. Look at the Republican debate. There's still an overwhelming number of people in the United States that believe that ISIS represents one of the largest threats today to the United States. Do you know why people think that? Because they're going by their emotion. Because politicians say, look at how scary this shit is, and then they show you a fucking video, or they say, we got these 14 people that got killed. 14 fucking people, dog. How many people die a day of gun violence in the United States? How many people die of fucking drunk driving accidents? And you're gonna say the 14 people that died in this one-off fucking terror? Even 9/11 wasn't that big of a fucking deal in terms of overall loss of life compared to some of the other shit that goes on. But people shove these fucking narratives in your face, and then they take advantage of retards like you who vote by their gut. Well, I don't have all the numbers and information. All I have is a guy on TV that tells me this one thing, and I saw this one thing on the news, so I feel this thing, and I feel it strongly, and I might not have the numbers to back it up, but I feel it's funny because Colbert did like an actual literal representation of people like you when he went to the White House, and he's like, I don't need facts and figures, I got something better than a brain. I got my gut, and I listen to my gut, and I don't need the numbers, and even in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the one dude with the goatee did the same thing, where he's like, I'm an American, I don't need facts and numbers to back my things up, I don't have to change my mind no matter how much evidence is rendered to me, right? Everybody in satires made fun of people like this, but then you come here and you defend that literal point of view, and I can point to several different issues. ISIS is just one of them. How about global warming? There's a ton of different issues where people... No, let me finish! There's a ton of different issues where people have very, very strong opinions on it, even though they have no fucking information on it whatsoever. How many people say the same things about global warming when 97% of the scientific community is in consensus about it? How many people say the same things like creationism is a valid scientific opinion on evolution, and they can't even tell you what evolution is, but they still feel real fucking strong about it? There's a ton of people that have these problems. You don't understand how that might be a problem at all? Like,
okay, I'm gonna make a really brash example here. Okay, let's say for instance you were affected by every single problem in this entire world. No matter what problem, no matter how small, you were affected by. Okay, you were a completely and totally fucked person, right? And then somebody came up to you and all your problems are solved, right? And somebody came to you and say form an opinion on every single problem. And you said, I think all problems are bad, right? And because every single problem affected you, so you're like, okay. I got affected by gun violence. I got raped, or ISIS kidnapped my family, right? Or I got hit by a drunk driver. Like all these things, like global warming affecting me directly as a human being. And you look up and you see all these things that happen to you. Do numbers honestly fucking matter at that point? Do honest to God, if I got shot at a gun, hit by a drunk driver, and got kidnapped by fucking ISIS, and all those things that happened. You can feel something strongly about something and be presented evidence and be ignorant and choose not to look at the evidence. Or, like me, what I'm saying is that no real evidence and no research has been done to figure out whether or not welfare is broken, because it would be an incredibly hard task to do to fix welfare and to find out whether or not it actually is truly and utterly totally broken or just kind of sort of broken, which is still a form of broken.
Do you smoke marijuana?
Yeah, kind of.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that you had a person, okay? Let's say that you had an individual, and they had two siblings that smoked, and those siblings are total fucking, and you know these people. I'm not saying you are one, but there are fucking losers that smoke pot, and they do it their entire wake and bake every fucking day, smoking every fucking day, and then they waste away, and they're fucking shit, and they're worthless, and they're doing their lives. A lot of times, just because they fucking smoke so much, and it takes over their entire life, okay? To that individual person, would it be hard to argue with them that marijuana isn't necessarily bad? Of course it would be, okay? But the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying is we both understand that it would be hard to convince that person that marijuana can be an okay thing. But I don't want that individual person to be in charge of whether or not marijuana becomes legal in the United States. Do you understand?
But explain to me how that's not democracy.
I'm not talking about what democracy is. What you're explaining right now is a principal failing of democracy, is that you get a bunch of people like that who are too emotionally invested in an issue to make an intelligent, rational decision about it, who end up making decisions about things. Do you think that it's good to make a decision from emotion? Do you think that's a good thing?
I mean, you can